Welcome to Voices of Life, a podcast dedicated to celebrating the inspiring members of life and friends of life. In each 20-minute episode, we invite listeners to discover the remarkable stories, experiences, and insights of Lebanese professionals who are part of our global network. My name is Rani Hamad. I'm a board member and chair of the Advocate Committee of Life, and I'll be your host for today. Today, I'm excited to speak with Anis Rahal, CEO of Exfolio, a fintech company revolutionizing treasury and wealth management by unifying and managing cash and portfolios in real time. His journey is one of resilience, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit. Growing up in Lebanon during the war, he studied at the University of Saint Joseph before pursuing a master's in management in Paris. From working at global giants like Bolloré and ADP, where he created a dashboard to simplify cash management, to boldly asking his boss to fire him so he could start his own company. Anis has always defied the conventional path. Despite hating finance in his youth and struggling academically, he mastered adaptability, eventually selling his first company, Treasury Express, to Bottom Line. At Exfolio, Anis is building the future of treasury management, blending simplicity, security, and real-time insights to empower treasury operators and portfolio managers alike. Although based in France, he actively leverages talent in Lebanon, navigating the challenges of working across borders. Join me as we explore Anis Rahal's unconventional journey, his vision for the future of finance, and the lessons learned along the way. Anis Rahal, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Anis, you grew up in Lebanon during the war and studied at the University of Saint Joseph, USG, and ended up deciding to leave in 1998 to France. Tell us about those early years.
Well, in fact, yes, I did my studies in France, in Lebanon, USG. I finished in 1997, and then I applied for a master in France, and I was accepted in Paris. And I went there, in fact, to learn finance, because after I finished my finance studies in USG, I ended up working in a bank in Lebanon. And you know, when you finish your licence, your BA in Lebanon, you end up a teller or behind the guichet, or so. I mean, I didn't do studies for 4 or 5 years to end up counting money as a teller. It was the first job I had it was in Société Générale, by the way, in Lebanon. And then I applied by coincidence, because one of my clients was the head of Centre Culturel Français in Beirut, and she used to love coming to me to do her checks and her banking daily banking stuff. So she helped me in applying, and she got me the approval, and I went there. So this was the main trigger, if you want, to go to France. It was I want to change a little bit the career path I was taking here in Lebanon. It was not because I was suffering during the war, because many people think that Lebanese go to abroad because they were. I mean, even during the war it was tough, but we were living. I mean, even when I went to France, I didn't feel that we were under living, if you want, compared to the Parisian life.
Yeah. So, by your own admission, you were a mediocre student, but ended up studying finance and started a career in banking and then into wealth management. Tell us about that trajectory and how did that kind of come
in
around?
fact, you have this etiquette of being mediocre in Lebanon if you are not good in math and physics and in chemistry, which was the case for me. And yes, I mean, I didn't like these scientific, I would say, topics in school, and I was really not good in it. And I was always 10 over 20 and sometimes below, and I had to do summer school to pass each class. And by the way, after I finished my baccalaureate, I did 2 years of cinema and theater in USG. It took me, in fact, I finished in 1990 my school,
Wow.
and it took me 7-8 years to finish my BA in France, because I lost 2 years in cinema and theater in USG in ESAV at the time. But I failed as well in acting and in cinema. So when I failed, I mean, I was leaving in Yvelin, the IESAF building, and I saw that the only place still open to apply, it was gestion, it was finance. So I applied, and it went from there.
So that going back to your story about being a student that struggled in school, there's often a view that the Lebanese education system is very successful and leads people to be successful academically in Europe and the United States and professionally. But my sense is that schools sometimes don't always attend to the needs of people with either special needs or who have maybe creative instincts or who want to express themselves, maybe not academically. And the system sometimes fails them. And I wondered if you have any thoughts about how the education system maybe didn't serve your needs in a way, even though you clearly had many other talents.
In fact, it served somehow. I will explain. The issue in the educational system in Lebanon is that you are being judged always on three, four materials. If you don't exist, if you are good, for example, in philosophy or in translating in languages, you don't exist. That's it. Either you are good in the three main topics, which are math, chemistry, biology, and
reading
and physics, or you don't exist.
Yeah.
This is the main issue. On the other hand, the educational system in Lebanon, which is really good, is that, I mean, because of the Lebanese situation and Lebanon situation during the war, that you struggle. So if you are still in school in Lebanon, this means because you want education, you want to be educated. Otherwise, I mean, if you have 1% of what happened here in Lebanon outside, I mean, no one will stay in school.
That's true.
But yes, I mean, in a way that if you I mean, especially now it has changed. But during my time in the 80s. If you are doing philo, for example, you are a failure. You didn't succeed.
You're not doing the hard work.
Are doing the hard work.
In fact, Sir Ken Robinson, one of the most watched TED Talks ever, talks about how schools kill creativity because a lot of people express their talents sometimes through music, through art, through dance, through philosophy, through language, through other ways. And somehow the education systems, whether here or elsewhere, don't always manage to capture it. So I was trying to get to that point about how you did that. So tell us about your story about how you ended up working for Bolloré and ADP and what that experience was like for you.
In fact, after my master in Paris, I had to validate the master by doing a stage, a training, an internship. Yeah. So I started the internship in a company called Saint-Gobain in the financial management as a first internship in France. And this is how I landed in treasury. So it was not by choice. I didn't know about treasury. I did finance in general. Corporate finance. So I ended in treasury, and treasury, it's a niche field. You know, it's not like financial analysis or going to M&A or corporate finance. It's a niche. You don't have a lot of resources in it. So it was a luck and a coincidence at the same time. And after my internship, I was, recruited by Bolloré. I sent a CV and they called me for an interview. And my path in treasury started, and from the internship, and I stayed in it. Bolloré, it's a French group, and ADP. Then my last experience as an employee, it was in ADP, which is an American company. The three of these different companies had the same, I would say, scenario to start your journey in treasury, which is you wake up in the morning. The first task you have to do is to manage your cash, to see how much cash do you have in your pocket on a daily basis. That means if you have a large group with a lot of legal entities around the world, you have to connect to the web banking of each bank to export the data to Excel, and then you do your cash analysis. And I am a really lazy person. I hate manual tasks.
It's time consuming.
Exactly.
So access every account.
So I left Lebanon because I didn't like the guichet at the bank, and I ended up doing Excel the whole day, exporting data to Excel. So what the hell? I mean, it's the same thing. It's boring. It's not something that, I mean, amusing, or you don't have an intellectual, I would say, work to do in terms of investment, disinvestment. You know, you see this in the movies. You say, I'm gonna do finance. It's boring. It was really boring. So I started digging. And I found something called SWIFT, which is an interbanking network. And I saw that all the banks talk to each other via this SWIFT network under the same format. So I went to the FNAC in France. I bought some books in coding. And here it's...
FNAC, the bookstore.
The bookstore, yeah.
Yeah.
And I started, learning how to code.
Wow.
And then, I mean, I started working on the Swift format. To understand it, I started reading. And at the time, we didn't have internet and Google right now, so we had to buy books and read in papers to understand how it works. So then I end up doing a dashboard that consolidate the job of myself and two of my colleagues in really 3-4 seconds. I mean, I ask the banks to send me on a daily basis all these files, and instead of going to the web banking of each bank, export the data and doing it manually on Excel, the systems that I built start doing it automatically.
So you had almost real-time data.
Yeah, and then I didn't say this to my management because I was enjoying it. I mean, instead of spending the whole day doing it, I used to do it automatically in the morning, and then I spend my day having coffees and reading and enjoying it. Then I said that, I mean, if I am using it, it's automating my jobs. There is definitely a market,
a potential business opportunity
behind it. And, you know, I needed the money because I had to fund myself. And at that time, we didn't have, like now, the ecosystem of fundraising. It was difficult. It was, I mean, 2005, 2005, 2006. It was not easy to fundraise, especially in France, which is difficult. It's not like the US.
Probably still is difficult today.
It's still difficult today.
So I have a story that you actually asked your boss to fire you.
Exactly. So I needed, in fact, you know, in France you have it's by law, if you resign, you get nothing. You go and you have to fund yourself. But if you are fired, you have the right to get 60 to 70% of your last salary for 2 years.
Wow.
On a monthly basis. So it's like...
So this was your venture capital, in
exactly.
other words.
So I went to see my boss, who was happy from what I was doing. I told him, please, can I talk to you? He said, yes, of course, enter. So I told him, can you fire me? He was surprised. He was shocked. He said, I don't want to fire you. Why are you asking me? I thought you're coming to ask me for a raise, not for to get fired. So I explained to him, look, listen, I have a deal for you. You fire me, and I will give you a system that will automate my job, and you won't have to recruit someone to replace me. Like this, you will have it for free. You will not. You will be really removing a cost of an employee in your department. He was smart. He said yes. He accepted, which is extremely rare, especially in France, because I was in ADP, but in France, so which is extremely rare to find someone who accept to do that. So he made the paperwork so that I get fired, and I was fired, and I went to what we call the ACEDIC in France, where the unemployment office, if you want. And the Treasury Express story started from there. So I was alone at that time. Then I asked a friend of mine who was a partner in Ernst & Young to join me. I gave him 10%, and another one coming from Credit Suisse. He was my supplier in the Swift message at the time. He was a salesman. I asked him to join, and we started from there. So yes, I got fired, but for a valid reason.
Yes,
because I wanted the money to be able to fund the startup.
But I have to say, that was a very creative way of thinking about getting fired and a way of raising funds. So you set up your company, Treasury Express, and it grows, and you start recruiting people.
Yeah.
And so tell us how the growth of the company happened, and what was your vision in terms of where you saw, where you wanted to be in a few years.
Yeah. At the beginning, my company was extremely French, and I was really targeting French groups. And then you discover with time, especially when you become an entrepreneur, that if you are, what is your goal? If you want to have a company and have a small boutique and live from it, or you want really to exit and to reach your early retirement. My goal was always, I want the early retirement. I don't want to spend my life working in this business, in this field. I want to do something else. So, to be able to exit your company, you have to be global so that you be visible on the radar of all the competition. And to be global, you have to leave, the French borders. So I started prospecting outside. First of all, my first step was really to make the company English a little bit. English speaking and in French, which is impossible. So I started looking to this is why I came to Lebanon. By the way, I came back to Lebanon to outsource my technical hub from Paris to Beirut. And my first client outside France was in Dubai. It was in Dubai. It was with Majd al-Futtaim at that time. They found us on Google. They were looking for a company specialized in Swift. So I took a plane from Paris to Dubai. At the time, it was the first time I go to Dubai, and we spent 2 weeks there, and we closed the deal. And then I said, okay, there is a market in Dubai. So we started prospecting the Gulf countries, and we became the leader of the Gulf countries in terms of treasury management system at that time.
Yeah. So you started talking about outsourcing some of your talent to Lebanon. Tell us why and what were some of the advantages or maybe some of the challenges you faced doing that.
In fact, my main challenges with French developers at the time, it was the linguistic barrier. They only speak French. And if if they speak English, it's worse, in fact, because you have the French accent. You don't understand anything. So I started working with a external resource here from Lebanon, who became, by the way, the CTO of the company after that.
Chief Technology Officer.
Yeah, and I gave him 6-7%, and he exited with us. He stayed with us. I started working with him, and I still remember how it happened. In fact, when I took the decision to migrate everything to Lebanon, in France, we are the champion of strikes. We like strikes in France. I had a client outside Paris, and there were massive strikes in Lebanon, no trains, nothing. So we had a technical issue with this client, and he called us saying that, listen, guys, I am working with a small company because I believed in you. I am not getting my reports since 2 days. You have to fix it. And at that time, we didn't have cloud. We used to do a local implementation on the client servers. So I had to send someone from the office to fix it. And I asked my French resource. I said he was working from home because there is no trains, there is nothing. It was a huge strike. I told him, listen, I'm going to pay you the taxi, please go. But he refused because he said, okay, I'm going to put a lot of time, traffic jam. All the existential question of the French people when you have strikes. So, and I was discussing it with this Lebanese resource here in Lebanon, and he said to me, I have a Brazilian passport. I can go to France with no visa if you want. And we had really a deadline till tomorrow to fix it. At the time, we had a flight on Middle East from 2 a.m. You land at 5 a.m. in the morning in France. So he took a flight from Beirut
to Paris.
He landed in the airport. He took the taxi from the airport directly to the client, and he fixed it. And the French guy who was really
living
maybe
Paris,
30 minutes hour away from the client, he refused to go. So I said, okay, this needs to stop.
I was thinking you were going to say you didn't want to have employees like you who want to be fired and get 70% of it. This was one of the reasons. But so that's another.
In fact, Lebanese developers, by the way, globally, till now, even with this new adventure, I am really duplicating the same structure, which is Xfolio is a French company, by the way. It's a holding is based in Paris, but all the back office is based in Beirut. All the developers are based in Beirut. First of all, you don't have a linguistic barrier. They speak French, English, Arabic. They have, of course, their issues. They are all living with their parents, with mommy and daddies, and they want to learn new technologies.
Yes.
They like to learn new technologies because they have this. I want to prove something, which is you don't find it easily outside. Not saying in France, but in Europe globally.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want the employee, I would say, profile. I have my salary, I have my ticket restaurant, I have my mutuelle, and everything. I'm happy.
Yeah.
They don't, and this, in fact, they don't. This is why they don't look to
This ambition and
that's
this
question.
drive.
Yeah, it's a question of learning new technology because technology is changing every day.
Absolutely. Look, I'm associated with a number of firms here at the Beirut Digital District, BDD, and the level of expertise, the level of talent that they provide to companies in Europe, United States, the Gulf is really cutting edge. It's not like, cheap outsourcing, but really premium outsourcing. And,
and by the way,
it's a very talented group.
Lebanese developers are not less expensive than European
Correct.
developers. I mean,
That's
the
correct.
cost I pay here in Lebanon to get good developers, it's similar, and sometimes it's higher
Yeah.
than an engineer in France.
Yeah. I wanted to finally get to the point that you talked about, which is that you've always figured out how to position yourself and the company towards being bought out. And you did this with Treasury Express, and it was bought out by Bottom Line. And now with Exfolio, you're already kind of beginning to think about where you want to position it. Tell us, how did you come to that decision, and how does one do that?
It was after the 5th years of Treasury Express existence. When you start an entrepreneur path, it's normal sometimes at the end you get tired. Physically, mentally, and it's. I will not say you get bored. I was really. I like to sell. What I liked in Treasury Express because at the end I stopped doing finance. I was really a sales guy. I was a sales resource in Treasury Express, and I used to love selling to clients, especially when you win a deal against the competition. It's really have a
high.
It's your adrenaline. It goes it goes high. So after the 5th year, I said, okay, now it's either I raise funds and I continue the adventure, or I try to find an exit where I sell the company. So I built a strategy which is annoying my competition. That is what I did. In fact, I started. I still remember because we did our fundraising with MVP here in Lebanon, and we had a huge event in the U.S. And really, it was the biggest financial event in the U.S. called the AFP event,
Wow.
Association of Financial Professionals. We had about 20,000 CFO coming from all the world to get this event. And Treasury Express is a small company, You had JP Morgan, you had huge banks, huge institutions, Bottom Line, SunGard, companies doing billions of dollars. So I still remember I invited MEVP guys to the events to see where their money is going, and they arrive and they see Treasury Express having the biggest booth ever in the event, and we are nothing. So we were in the middle between Bottom Line and JP Morgan. They were asking, who the hell are these guys? Treasury Express, we never heard about them. So I started to annoy him by having a bigger image than the real size of Treasury Express. And this is, in fact, what the trigger is, that you always, if you want to exit your company, your image in the market should be at least 10 times bigger than your real size.
Yeah.
And then I started to bidding against him on all the deals. He's he's invoicing a client $10,000 per month, 100 just to win it. So
Wow.
I started annoying him, and then he called me. I said, "Okay, gonna stop whenever you want. Okay, come take your check and leave." And this means the exit happened like this.
Wow. So basically, know your competition, so they buy you out.
Yeah, but smartly, in a way where really it's just not only in terms of pricing, but also in terms of image, because we started to be, in fact, on the radar and visible on the radar of all the competition when our size was bigger than our real. Our image was bigger than our real size.
Yeah. So finally, just a quick question about life. You joined recently. What's your experience like? Why did you join?
I joined. I want to help. It's especially now with the situation in Lebanon, economically speaking. If I can help in a way where I can mentor some students, or I can mentor some entrepreneurs, and helping in students who requires help in funding their studies. Sometimes you have to pay back. And we have now an organization that is capable of doing such things. So why not?
Great. Anis, Rahal, thank you for joining the podcast. We love what you did. We love how you do it. We're looking forward to hearing about more adventures and more interesting business opportunities that you take advantage of, and hope to have you back on the podcast.
Thank you, Ronnie, and thank you, Life.
Cheers. Thank you for listening to Voices of Life, where stories connect us and purpose moves us. Join our global network and be part of Lebanon's brighter future, wherever you are. To learn more about life, visit our website and follow us on social media. Thank you.